The Impartial Reporter has been informing and reflecting local life across Fermanagh since 1825. Over these past 185 years, the paper has managed to move with the times, sustaining itself into the 21st century. Today, the 25th of November 2010, history is in the making, as the traditional broadsheet is being upgraded to a new compact format. It may be the end of an era, but inside the Impartial, a new chapter has begun in its enduring history. Earlier in the week, Fermanagh TV got a behind-the-scenes look at how the new layout was shaping up.
It's a bit of an unknown territory, really. There's no going back now. You've made the decision to go compact, and it looks quite scary when you see the plan for the week ahead, but I think it'll look really good. I think everybody will come together as a team really and do the usual and get it out come Wednesday evening for everybody to read on the Thursday.
With only days away until the paper hits the shops, the journalists took time out of their busy schedules to look back on their spell at the paper and what the new change means for them.
Well, when I joined, the paper had been going since 1825 as a broadsheet newspaper. At that time, no one would ever have imagined that the paper would have become a compact. I think now is the right time to do it. Hopefully the paper will be even a better read for them, even than before. It means that it's a handier paper to read, easier to pick up, you can leaf through it much easier.
There's been a lot of response in the community, when you're out and about, people are saying, oh, you're changing the paper and whatever. And it is exciting to be part of it, and it's definitely a new move for the Impartial. I've been here 20 years now, and I've been coming in for an awful lot longer before that. My dad had been the editor of the paper, so I sort of grew up in the Impartial Reporter. So it's basically been my entire life, and I still enjoy it every day coming in even after all those years. It's just the variety and the people we meet and everything.
The paper will be smaller with lots more pages and lots more news and features and everything that goes along with it. And I think the reader will get even more every single week.
It's going to be sad, obviously, to see the back of the broadsheet because, being so old as a paper, it is sad to that extent, but I think it's also exceptionally exciting then for change, and for me, because it's right up my alley because I get to get my teeth into something again, and it'll take a few weeks, it'll not be perfect. The first one out won't be perfect. It never is. It always takes a few weeks to tweak, to get our look right. You have to move with the times. You can't remain. I don't think changing things like that should have a huge difference in a negative way. I think it should be viewed as positive because you're moving with the times and you have to move with the times.
Behind me here are hardback books filled to the brim with newspaper copies. Here we can see one newspaper dating back to 1910, and if you look closely at the front page, it's solely made up with newspaper advertisements. There's not a news story in sight. Putting news on the front page is one of the first major changes that editor Denzel McDaniel can recall in the history of the development of the paper's design. Introducing colour in 1991 was another milestone. Making the decision to move to the compact design took a lot of careful consideration, but after listening to their readers, Denzel believes the time is now right to make the changeover.
It's something that we've considered for some time. We looked at it a few years ago, we looked at it again about 6 or 7 years ago, and about a year ago we produced this mock-up which really, we thought at the time looked very well, and seriously considered going compact, as we call it, at that time, but decided the time just wasn't quite right. But there's quite a groundswell of opinion from readers. A lot of people say, when are you going to go smaller? And really it's just, at the end of the day, is what the readers want. Not all of them, some of them don't want to lose the broadsheet, but there's no question about it. The feedback that we get all the time is the vast majority of people want the smaller compact size in this day and age. So we've taken the plunge. We're very much still the Impartial Reporter. You know, the style of journalism, the content, you know, the whole look and ethos of the Impartial Reporter will still be there. It will just probably be in a handier, more readable form. We don't want to become a different sort of tabloidy style paper. The style will be the same, but it's really for the reader's convenience, which will allow us, I think it's always a good time to have a look at things, and it will allow us to look at a few things where we might freshen up, you know, a few brighter features, looking at some bits and pieces. And the staff, I have to say, have responded fantastically well with some new ideas, so hopefully be a few surprises on Thursday morning for the readers. But I think just generally convenience and a more modern style within the context of the ethos of the old Impartial Reporter.
So there it is, the first compact Impartial Reporter. It may be smaller in size, but its editor believes it still has the biggest stories and quality reporting that it's renowned for. Aislinn Hagan, Fermanagh TV.